Hey all, welcome back to Key is King. Today we're getting into the latest royal review, Real Housewives of New York, Season 15, Episode 17, the conclusion of the reunion. The prep to this video today has given me absolute hell. I'm absolutely not even in the mood to do this, but sometimes magic happens when we're not in the mood to do something that we have to do. So let's get started because I'm so happy this shit is over. It's gonna free up my mind, my time, and my entertainment tank. Opening this reunion with a continuation of Jessel versus Brynn, and the moral of that story is that Brynn should have just shut the fuck up. She shouldn't have said anything to begin with, and she wouldn't have shit to defend or be in trouble for, which is apparently the theme of her life. But Jessel's continuing to just be like, why did you say anything? You really caused trouble in my life, and for that alone, I would not fuck with her ever again. Ever, ever, ever. So they quickly move on to a comment that Brynn had made at some point in the season about Uba, referring to her as an angry black woman and that she needs to change her behavior or her white man, Oliver, Mr. Connecticut, would not want to marry her. And so they want to revisit that statement because, Brynn, you barely look or act or sound black, whatever that means. But, like, I've said it before, Brynn is barely black passing. Like, you would have to look at her for probably a week before you even realize she was black or had some black in her. So it's just like completely tone deaf coming from her, it seems like. But them having this conversation, and Uba's like, Uba didn't get it. We know Uba is an immigrant technically, so like the cultural similarities are not there. So Uba's like, that didn't really fit me. She's like, I'm hot, I'm black. She's like, I get stuff for free all the time. Like, she's like, what is that? Angry black woman, like that doesn't affect me, essentially, is the vibe that came down to. And everybody was like, But talking about anything racial in a room full of mostly white people is always going to result in some awkward tension, if you will. But Uba was like, I don't know what the fuck that's all about. I'm hot, I'm black, I get shit for free, so fucking sue it. Sue me, whatever. But at this point, the reunion, they all break because, you know, they take lunch breaks. They're probably unionized. Not really. And so everyone's sitting around talking about Brynn, and Aaron keeps going like, somebody should really check on her. Somebody should, like, go say something to her. Bitch, you go do it if you want that so badly. And this is what I don't like about Aaron. Stop saying this shit out loud. If you want it done that badly, go do it yourself. Nobody's stopping you. Pregnancy doesn't, like, not allow you to talk to people anymore. She's so fucking annoying. Everyone's transitioning backstage, and Jenna is eventually the one that's been voted to go check on Brynn, which she does, and Brynn is like breaking down about how like nobody likes her or cares about her anymore. Jessel's also crying on the heels of her whole appearance being like crucified, and then on the heels of her husband being villainized, or not her being villainized, and her husband just kind of like the fallout from that situation. So people are backstage crying, mostly talking shit about Brynn, as she is realizing that nobody gives a fuck about her anymore. They move on once everybody reconvenes, and they bring Rebecca out. And now, I was not a huge Rebecca fan. I'm not a stan by any means necessary during the season, but they were trying to play with her and disrespect her, which she called out, which I was very happy about. But they brought her there for literally 5 minutes trying to insult, put down, and like humiliate her, and she wasn't going for it. And I, for the first time ever, was team boring Bex, because I hate when these grown-ass people get on these shows and act like this, and they play semantics, and they play fucking stupid. Like, have always said, like, I would love to be on reality TV, but maybe I would be, like, the most anti-hero, fourth wall breaking, probably the worst choice, because what you're not about to do is play in my fucking face for any reason. But that's what they try to do with Rebecca. They brought her out, and they immediately get into all of her very personal stuff. Of course, they start with the beef with Brynn because Brynn was trying her hardest to get a reaction from Rebecca all season. And that's essentially what Rebecca was saying. She's like, yeah, did you get what you wanted? Like, you were trying to fuck with me the entire time. And Brynn swears that she's so psychologically savvy. And she's like, no, I was trying to, like, essentially, she's trying to spin it to say that she was, like, trying to help Rebecca, essentially, is, like, the vibe I'm getting for Brynn. And that's clearly not the fucking case. Just not the case at all. And Rebecca said from the beginning, she is a designer. She used this show and this opportunity to help push her brand. I think it was maybe an unseen clip. her brand went down 70% in COVID. So she was like, I need to bring the numbers back up. I need to get engagement back up. So that's literally why she came on the show. And apparently that's not a good enough reason for Brynn. And she's upset. But she was trying to go in on her for like, this is a marketing thing. And she's like, yes, this is. When you have a business, when you're rich, you take the opportunities where you can. And not for nothing, Housewives is literally used as a vehicle for all of these women to like launch, create, maintain businesses. So, and then we move on to Aaron, because Aaron this whole time until Rebecca has been out has been like throwing shots, throwing digs, and it clearly has fallen out with Rebecca. Okay. But when you boil it down, Aaron's mad about a comment that she made. She was on the TV, on national TV, questioning Rebecca's religions and her choice in religion and being all confused and being like, well, I don't really get it. So you're mad that you made that comment and there was a consequence to it. This is why I don't like bitches like that. Once again, if you would have kept your mouth shut, there would be no argument to be had right now. You cannot be mad at someone's reaction once you start shit. As the old proverb goes, don't start none, won't be none. Right? Okay. So, somehow in all of this, Rebecca is now the most self-involved person that Aaron has ever met. And Rebecca literally Uno reversed her and was like, that's you. And it's true. Aaron is definitely self-fucking involved. But this is what I mean when I said they literally brought this woman here just to try to humiliate her, because Andy's asking her, well, define the whole Scientology and religion thing. Like, how does that work? Where it's Scientology and Judaism. Because she's Jewish, she's a Scientologist, she marries them both to like make her clock go tick. Great for her. And so they're like, explain it to me, because it like, and so on the show she explained that like Jewish is like her religion, and that Scientology is like a philosophy she follows that helps her. Where now, as on the reunion, she's saying that they're both her religions and she both practice them as religion, and it's a world-recognized religion, Scientology is. So they're literally just trying to discredit her and catch her up in how she described it versus during filming versus how she did it in the reunion. Which, once again, go fuck yourself either way you slice it, because it's her religion. It does not matter to you. And I'm not even a religious motherfucker. But when people start caring too much about what other people are doing, that's when I get pissed off. Because mind your business. Just mind your fucking business. Okay. Rebecca closed her segment off by saying, I was closed off because everybody's like, you were so closed off, you didn't open up, blah, blah, blah. She's like, I was closed off because I was being actively disrespected. The tone of everything, which nobody liked the fact that she was calling out the tone of everything, which tone matters. Just like words matter, tone matters. As somebody with a fucked up tone sometimes, I know that tone matters. So please, she was like, the tone of it was disrespectful. It was actually disrespectful. I was not open because I did not feel like this was the space to educate and be open in. And she was not wrong. And they all tried to deny her that. And they're all a bunch of self-serving assholes. But I was proud of Bex. She didn't go there to clean up shit, really. She was just there to say, like, this is what it is. They were all acting disinterested in her. They barely said bye to her when she left. They're, like, looking at their phones. And she was not playing. She was, like, the second she was done talking, she was like, do I stay here? Do I wait here? Or can I go? Do you take my mic off here or backstage? And Andy was being a fucking shady fucking cunt. He was being a little cigarette, if you know what I mean. And I was happy for Bex that she stood up for herself and let them know not to fuck with her again. And she probably won't ever be back, which is fine. But she ended her whole thing with glory, in my opinion. No pun intended. So the last real chunk of this reunion is dedicated to the big climax of the season, which is the big fight in Puerto Rico. They play the package, they play the clips, and then they get right into the mess. And boy, was it a mess. So they start the package with Uba talking shit about Puerto Rico. Because as we know, she went there and was like, the water's nasty, there's dead animals everywhere, don't get in it, it's gross. She went on and on about how rich and tall and powerful and beautiful she was. It was a whole thing. But they're trying to like go through that, and Uba is just wrong and strong. She does not care. She cannot hear anything that is like coming in. She is lost in like Uba translation. She literally ends by saying, like, Raquel, I really don't give a fuck. Because Raquel's like, you were trying to say that we're attacking you because we're Puerto Rican and we're in Puerto Rico, which is just a wild. Not wild, but, like, to say out loud is just a choice. And so They were talking about that. They were talking about how Uba's freaking out about the bedroom and all this stuff. But Uba's like, it is what it is. I said what I said, and I'm not changing. Okay. She can be ignorant and wrong and strong. Like, let her be. Once again, let her be. Okay. That's going to be a detriment to Uba at some point. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say my piece and move the fuck on with my life. As the rest of them eventually did and should, because there was no other option. But it's equal parts funny and just baffling watching Uba like in a disagreement. Put a cherry on top and further emphasize the point, Uba does offer an apology at the end of all of this, and she apologizes for her authenticity and that they can't take it. And I can't be mad at her for that. I really can't, because at the end of the day, she's being who she is. She's letting people know who she is. It's their choice if they want to be her friend. They do this like sneak diss, fake as fuck, behind the back shit. And at the end of the day, a person like Uba is always going to be herself, and you always know what to expect. So why are you mad? Yes, she can be ignorant, but she is herself. So I repeat the question, why are you mad? Oh, because you're weak and you can't make it. Oh, okay. But they all go on to confirm that having an argument with Uba is a timely manner, meaning Uba got time to fight. She doesn't care, and she's long-winded. So they're essentially avoidant of Uba because she is very strong in her convictions and has the time to fight, and they just can't deal. Which usually comes down to it. It's like when people are mad, it's just because they can't take it. And that is a personal problem. But I did make mention that the second Rebecca leaves, because between Rebecca and Brynn, everybody was gang and like power in numbers and doing all this shit. The second they remove the like low-hanging fruit, all these bitches turn on each other. And it was like not baffling because I expected, but it's just so confusing that these women like fight so fiercely and loyal depending on who like the op is, but literally they're all ops. All ops. Like, they don't seem to genuinely like each other at all. And that sometimes annoys me. Because, like, at that point, you're just fighting to fucking fight, and, like, your allegiances aren't worth shit and not real. I don't fuck with that. They get into the retelling of the rape story, because obviously that is the #1 hot topic of this season. And so, Brynn seems very fucking confused. And when she first started to talk, and I'm listening to her, I'm like, wait a minute. Now, you already know my theory that like 85 to 90% of the time we are watching reality TV, these people are fucked up and on some type of substance, usually alcohol, but I know drugs be happening too. But as I'm listening to Brynn talk, I'm like, how is she talking with such conviction and such emotion? And she was clearly fucked up during this whole thing. So that was first things. And then she kind of doubles down and confirms this theory because she asked at one point, as she's trying to explain herself and retell the story, what state was I in? Bitch, let me tell you something. If you have to ask what state you were in during a major either life moment, argument, whatever, then you are not a credible source and you need to be quiet. I wish I would be arguing with somebody about something serious as fuck like this and they said what type of state was I in. I'm not even a violent person and that would cause me to go to jail. To jail. Because play with your pussy, don't play with me. How about that? Brynn is trying her hardest to rewrite history. Like, anybody who watches this episode will watch somebody with psychological issues literally scurry in their brain to escape the situation they have made for themselves. She is trying to rewrite history so desperately. She's trying to link what happened to her and Uba to what Uba and Aaron experienced when Uba gave a terrible analogy about somebody's mother dying of cancer as Aaron's mom is like dying of cancer. That is completely different to what is happening here, but Brynn is trying her hardest to make that the connection. It's not gonna work. Maybe for a dummy. It ain't working for somebody with a little bit of sense though. So Brynn just cannot take it. The more she's trying to escape and pivot and turn the table and twist the story, the more all of them are just like, that didn't happen, you didn't say that, that's not how that went, we were all there. Literally, they are not letting her escape. It's like they're playing Red Rover and she cannot come on over. Like, they really are not letting her out of it to the point where she just starts breaking down. She's like, this is too much. It's too much, bitch. Fuck, you're too much. You lied on somebody in one of the worst ways you can and now it's too much? Do I have to say it? Go fuck yourself. Okay, I said it. Got it. Just dumb. And so at some point in her breaking down, she does find an escape route out. And she makes a joke about how Uba would like murder somebody for her, relating to the whole like rape situation, because you know she said she still sees them. And like, yes, it was said in jest and a joke and kind of like maybe a lighthearted moment, but Bryn is the type of psycho that I think would manipulate somebody to murder somebody for her. And call me over analytic, call me jaded, call me whatever you want to, honestly. But in that moment and watching it, something in my spirit struck me as like Bryn is the type of person that would set somebody up to like harm somebody else. She's like the ultimate Karen to me. None of the tears worked. None of her snot worked. I wish she would have choked on both. Just no. Just no. But this opens the door for Uba to like go over there and hug her and talk about like she loves her, and they, because apparently Bryn is saying that she really loves Uba. She missed giving Uba a hug and it was really about Uba. And so Uba's like, the ladies love you, and she's like, they don't love me. No, they don't. I believe you do, but they don't. Girl. So everyone breaks again. They leave Bryn and Uba on set to talk, and they're like talking and bonding and apparently becoming friends and sharing their love for each other again, while all the other ladies are backstage just talking shit about Bryn and what she's doing and how manipulative it is. But in the end, they all are hugging. Raquel, who is... I loved Raquel. She was one of the few reasons I liked the season, but she clearly is like a wishy-washy type of woman, because she goes back there to let Bryn know that they all do love her and all this stuff. And once again, I know I can be a black and white thinker, and I think Jenna said it best, or one of them. Bryn made a mistake. People are allowed to make mistakes. The intention and the level of ugliness in her mistake is very noteworthy. But at the end of the day, she is a human and she makes mistakes. So that is, it's a hard thing. It's like hard to find a gray area, but life is gray area. And there is some grace that could be had for Bryn, but she is definitely a lying piece of work. And I don't think I would really trust her ever, but everybody comes back. They're hugging, they're cheersing, they're saying their goodbyes and their final thoughts. I'm just so happy this season's fucking over. Sai was telling Bryn to come like visit her and her children, which is a bold move for somebody you don't really know how you feel about or trust anymore. But I don't know. I'm just happy that the season's over. I'm very interested to see the future of New York. But we shall see. Because what an ending to a questionable season. But as always, y'all, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you for tuning in, stopping by, and I will catch you soon for something else.